board yonder over hillock.
Oh, cool. Are we there yet?
Almost.
Are we there yet?
Almost.
Are we there yet?
Look, there's Lingus' house. Lingus, we've come to visit you bastard.
Next up, the Buena Vista Social Club. Cult director Wim Wenders, while working with musician Ry Cooder on the End of Violence soundtrack, had the idea to document a return visit to Cuba by Ry to reunite with some old wrinkly musicians he'd previously worked with.
My son Joaquin and I came back down here to Havana in March 1990. The one they liked the best, I like it the best. One of the great things about that record turned out to be Ibrahim Ferrer. He'd come in off the street like a Cuban Nat King Cole.
En mi jardín, los nardos y las rosas, las blancas azucenas.
Now, accusations of cultural plundering a la Paul Simon explores, or should that be plagiarised, African music, could be levelled, but it would be untrue, you see, because Ry and his son, Ry Vita, Joaquin Percussion, never use the music as a vehicle for their own songs, but rather sit there, allowing themselves to be immersed as they strum and drum along with the beautiful musical imbrication of it all. Anyone in, Steph? Hello, Nigel Blockpants. Is your arse still like a 4-pound blood orange weeping? And who's this lady boy with you with the long hair? Coming in, you.
Porque es la vida, las mujeres, las flores.
Coffee or guilt-free, rampant, casual sexual fever? Now, when our troupe of marvellous maestro musicians turn up at New York's prestigious Carnegie Hall to play a gig, we see that the Cubans have led lives of splendid isolation, protected from American cultural imperialism. They go for a walkabout and come across a shop selling icons, Marilyn Monroe, Charlie Chaplin, that kind of thing. But the Cubans don't know who these people are. And it's beautiful moments like this that Wim Wenders manages to capture on small handheld camcorders. Less intrusive, you see, than the big gland cams normally people truck around with them.
Cooder takes a back seat in all of this as the Buena Vista boys and girls shine with their music, while reminiscing openly about themselves, the past in Cuba. From the rehearsal studios to touring in Amsterdam and New York, we're treated to the sights, smells and emotions of real old-timers who like nothing better than to play their music. This must have been a dream gig for Wenders, as he didn't actually have to deal with any actors, and of course the music's great. The Buena Vista Social Club is available to buy from March 27th, so stick with Nigel and I for a bit of this.
Who are you talking to? Who's here?
Je disparais à proportion de la bite qui prétend me prendre.
And here's the master bedroom, and I've had some fun on that bed and I've not changed the sheets, but I believe all men should sleep together at least once a day.
Next up, romance, where Marie is desperately in love with her man Paul, but Paul has a problem with rigidity, forcing Marie to seek satisfaction elsewhere. Paul told Marie from the beginning that this was a recurring problem with his relationships, but things are still on rocky ground. Even Marie's oral attempts at arousal are a flop, but to make matters worse, Paul won't go down on her. As he says, if he did, he couldn't love her anymore.
Ceux qui me baissent, je veux pas les voir. Pas les regarder. J'ai envie d'être un trou, un gouffre. Plus c'est béant, plus c'est obscène. Plus ça doit être moi, l'intimité de moi. Plus je me désiste.
Anita Harris. Oh, yeah. Another beautiful French bird with everything to live for, but she's consumed by self-loathing and self-disgust. And soon you loathe her as well for being such a self-centered, miserable, mealy-mouthed cow. She tries to rescue her sexuality back from the sexist men she shags, but to no avail. I'll tell you what the problem is. She's got a permanent strand of black hair right across her face, right down to her chin. Looks like it was stuck there with super glue. Do yourself a favour, sweep it out the way, brush it back, and sort it out, you mealy-mouthed, miserable cow bitch!
Although Marie loves Paul, she turns to picking up men in bars. Her boss is into a bit of kinky S&M, and some bloke who accosts her on the stairs. She despises them though. She can't even look at them. She just hides within herself as they go about their business. Oh, God.
Good morning, boys. Room for a little one on top.
Voilà. Tu t'en reviens pas que ce soit moi qui promène mes doigts sur ta chatte. J'en profite.
With all the controversy surrounding Romance's release, you'd expect to see some pretty outrageous stuff. OK, there's a couple of erection shots, the occasional brief blowjob, and plenty of sexual shenanigans, but it's nothing shocking. It's just a bleak tale that's too cold and clinical. The full marks to director Catherine Breillat for her bravery in making such a controversial film. Romance is available to rent and buy from March 27th.
Oh, Steph, what a beautiful, crisp, lovely country morning. Let's find ourselves a lactating cow and suckle off of it.
Next up, Arlington Road, which stars Jeff Bridges as Michael Faraday, a university lecturer who's still haunted by the recent death of his FBI wife. But he's getting over it gradually in the arms of a much younger ex-student. One day, Michael rescues a boy who's had his hand blown apart and subsequently befriends his parents, played by Tim Robbins and Joan Cusack. Then, after an eternity of getting to know you shit, Michael starts to believe that his newfound friend and neighbour is actually a terrorist.
Steph, bovine bastard, 4 o'clock!
I'm going to use the Pulling Your Dead study. You guys are playing here, okay?
That's Dad's study.
Well, I'll just be a sec. You guys go ahead and play. Your dad won't mind.
Arlington Road nearly segues into a brutal, brutish Bruce Willis actioner, but doesn't go there. Instead, it has Jeff saying, do you know my neighbour, Tim Robbins, who you might have seen in Shawshank Redemption? Well, he's not a nice guy he was there. Instead, he's a nasty right-wing fundamentalist zealot folk devil terrifying the whole of America. And Jeff goes from being an academic lecturing about conspiracy theories to actually involved in one, driving around sweating and shaking, his face like a shaved bonobo monkey. Found one, Steph? Oh, with that big one on the back. Ooh, what a beauty.
Arlington Road kicks off with a bang with the pre-title sequence of Bridges' discovery of the blood-soaked boy, but the pace of the film dies a death instantly as we're introduced to the characters. The actual idea of the film isn't all that bad, with its can your cardigan-wearing neighbour be a terrorist theme. The best of all is in the casting, with the quirky Bridges playing the good guy, opposing the usually squeaky clean Robbins. But why, oh why, did they have to turn it into a bloody action-adventure car chase film at the end? Arlington Road is available to rent and buy now.
Lingus, look! The cow from yonder field. That field up there? That's not a cow. That's a bull.